Hi, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda. I'm redoing a video that I made because I realized that I didn't do it correctly. So let me get out of the way and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to put myself right in the middle where I'm not covering up any books. These are all the books that I have left to read in the first half, no, in the first quarter. So January, February, and March. There are only 2 books that I have left in January to read and that are specifically for January, and then I'm not reading any of the specific February or specific March. So, there are a few things that I wanna do. What am I doing, you ask? You saw the thumbnail. I am doing 3 books in 24 hours. If you saw a recent video like that, then you're wondering, "What are you doing?" Here's what I'm doing. That last video, the book that I thought was 300 pages, because one of them has to be over 300, it was 286 pages. I'm 14 pages less than what I needed. So, my number one job is that I'm going to look through all of these that are not specifically February or March, and I'm going to find one that is as close to 300, but not 350 or 400 or something like that. I want a 300-page book. Then, once I find and confirm my 300-page book, I am going to be reading, for sure, I'm going to be reading Nightfall. This is right up here. I just happen to have a physical copy of it, but this is the first book in the Nightmareland Chronicles. It's a reread for me, but I'll be reading it on audio, and I've never done that because the first 3 books just got released on audio at the end of last year. So, that is gonna be my second book that I'm reading, and then my third book is going to be one of the graphic novels that I have to read. You can see down here below me, almost all of these are graphic novels. There's some that aren't, but there's a lot down here. There's also 3 graphic novels left on my Kindle that I can read. So, that is probably what book number 3 is gonna be. However, if I get really caught up in reading Nightfall, I might go straight on to book 2, which is Lullaby, which is also on audio. So, we will see what happens when I actually get there, but I might do Nightfall and Lullaby as books 2 and 3. I want to read them at some point in January, so I don't know why I don't just go ahead and knock them out. I might do that. So, really, all I need now is the 300-page book that's going to kick this whole thing off, and then I can get started. So, I'm gonna do some research. I'll be right back. Okay, I don't even have to look anymore. I found The Magician's Daughter has 384 pages. Then I found The Mapping of Love and Death has 338. And then The Family Chow has 303. So that is what I'm going to be reading. I already have it on Libby. I just checked to make sure it's ready to go on Libby, but I'm not starting just yet. I just wanted to go ahead and get the books picked out. So I will come back and check in when I officially start, and I will have 24 hours to read those 3 books. We're going to do it right this time. So let's go. Okay, today is the day I am kicking off my 3 books in 24 hours. I'm not going to be starting right now. It's 10:30 in the morning. I'm not going to be starting until I am at work later today. Hopefully, it's a Saturday. Hopefully, things will be slowish. I would like to start around 3 o'clock because tomorrow afternoon on Sunday at 3 o'clock, we're leaving to go do something with my family. So I have work today for probably about 3 hours of that because I work until 6 today. And then I have church in the morning. Otherwise, that's it. So I will have most of today or at least this evening. I do have dinner tonight now that I'm mentioning that. That's okay because I have to drive to town. I have to drive about 45 minutes both ways. So I will be able to read while I'm doing that. And then I'll definitely be able to read tonight. So I'm starting with The Family Chow. It is 303 pages for this 3 and 24 part 2 redo, whatever we want to call it. But I will check in with you as I finish books and possibly while I'm reading the books, especially because I'm still planning to do books 1 and 2 of the Nightmareland Chronicles. So I'm so excited about those. And that's it. Django in his new hoodie says hi. His hoodie is too big for him, like it's hanging over his little legs. So we might not wear it after this, but That's really cute. Okay, I'm going to work and I will check in with you after I've read something. Hey, okay, it is time to report in. Wow, I am so tired. Okay, The Family Chow. I finished reading it last night almost at midnight. It was like 11:55 or something. And I finished it and then immediately went into book number 2, which is Nightfall. This is a reread for me. I had forgotten. That's not true. I remember the things that happened, but because I read this series back to back to back to back, it was hard for me to remember what happened in which book. And there are a lot of things that happen in this book that I remember thinking are so gross. And I thought, am I going to be able to make it through this whole series? This is so gross. But I fell in love with the characters. And this on audio, I think Adam Gold does such a great job. There was one of the voices that I was like, oh, I don't like that. But it was a minor character, not our main character. I love John, and John's not the only main character, but I can't remember the other woman's name. I'm just flipping through this book and I see how many things I have underlined. And honestly, last night I was laying in bed and I heard one of the lines and I thought, I underlined that one. Oh my gosh, I just love this book so much. Okay, so I don't know exactly where I am. Okay, that's when that happened. So I'm almost to page 100, and there are only 140 pages in this book. So I'm really close to the end of that. And then that means this one, the next book, is only 97 pages. Lullaby. That's book 2, and it's the shortest one in the whole series. So I'm going to finish book 1, start book 2, but I will pop up a picture right here. I bought all 6 of them and donated them to the library. And it takes a while for the processing to happen, for them to get all entered in our system. And because they are self-published, it takes another minute or so for all of that to get put into the system. However, they're here now. They're on the shelves, and this is what it looks like. Because his name starts with a B, they're very close to our horror banner that says these are all the horror books. They start here, whatever. So I took the picture. I sent it to Daniel. I was like, look what I got for the library. Anyway, he said that was very cool. So anyway, that's it. I am still working on Nightfall. I finished The Family Chow. The Family Chow starts out as a family saga about this Chow family that has 3 sons. And son number 1 left home, came back, and he's a very good cook. He wants to run the restaurant, but their dad is just awful. Their dad is horrible. So we learn all the randomness that's going on with the 3 brothers. James is the baby, and he has gone to college. He's like home for Christmas break when all these things happen. So this book definitely takes place during winter and Christmas, if anybody's looking for books that fulfill that. And then it suddenly turns into a murder mystery about halfway through. And we spend the rest of the book uncovering who committed a murder. Anyway, I liked it. I haven't ultimately decided what I'm going to give it because that was at midnight last night and my brain is still not quite functioning and awake this morning. As for Nightfall, I think, again, this one's going to end up getting a 4.5 from me. And they only get better from here. But I don't know because I haven't finished it yet. So I'm not sure what's going to happen from here. But that's it. I will, Nightfall. I guess I can tell you what happens in Nightfall. I can't really tell you what happens in Lullaby other than, in Nightfall, the sky goes dark. And he says in here, it's not a gradual darkening. It's like someone flipped the switch and turned the sun off. So it is complete darkness. As they have discovered, it is very difficult for people to tell what is reality and what is not. Let's see. Now I'm at her place. Mariah is her name. Oh, I remember this because he actually wanted to call her Maria, but he put the H on the end of her name, and now her name is Mariah, and I don't think he can do anything about it. So I remember he said that story when we were interviewing him about the series at the very beginning. So anyway, John and Mariah have a little bit of a history. They have met before. Mariah runs a bar that John goes to frequently. Here's what I'll tell you. I know that I just said the words, I love John, but you need to know that John is not a lovable character. I love John because I know where John ends up in book 6. I do not love John in book 1. Okay. Mariah is not outside when the sun gets turned off. And I think that matters only because John was standing outside and he's completely fine. So I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say completely fine, but he doesn't have any moments of like, what is going on? Reality is not here. Other people are doing very odd things. There's one woman who is using her lawnmower in the middle of the street, like she's mowing the street. There is another man who is just using his water hose, like he has a water hose, like he's watering something, but he's just pouring it all over himself. And he keeps saying, it's such a beautiful day, isn't it? Like it is dark. Everything is dark. There's no moon. There's no sun. It's just dark. And so we kind of see what this little town is doing with all the darkness. And we see how John and Mariah, they're the ones that we predominantly are following and what happens with them and what they ultimately do. And in this book, they're meeting each other. They already know each other, but they're finding each other, I guess. And then going somewhere. And this book is more of their travels. So I would say that if you don't like adventure books, don't read this, but it's not exactly that kind of adventure. It's more of like if you read The Stand by Stephen King, it's more that kind of journey/adventure with much fewer characters to get confused about. It's just John and Maria right now. So anyway, all of that to say, I think it's a really good book. And if anybody is wanting to read it, I would love to chat with you about it. Okay. What else? That's it. I'm going to finish Nightfall. I'm going to read Lullaby. It is 9:30 in the morning almost. And I have until 3 o'clock today. And the only thing I have to do is go to church for like an hour and a half. So that's it. I'm going to take my morning drink and my book. I'm going to go read right now, and I will report in when I have finished everything. It's going much better than I expected it to, and that's just because, and I didn't even get to read when I was driving in and out of town last night like I thought I would, because my friend texted me she was going to dinner, and she said, can you just give me a ride? I was like, sure. So I drove her, and I got to chat with her instead of reading, and that was fine. I would rather do that anyway, but it was still fine. I still got everything done as far as the family chow goes. And now Nightfall. I'm almost finished with it. Okay. That is all of my update. I will be back to update in sometime this afternoon when I finish. I did it. Right now it's 2:30, but I finished Lullaby at just after 2 o'clock. So I read The Family Chow. Then I read Nightfall and Lullaby. And I finished 3 books in 24 hours for real this time instead of the fake way or the not following the rules way that I did it the time before. So thank you for sticking with me for another 3 and 24 video, and leave me another 3 emoji of some kind, something that's got 3 on it. Leave it down in the comments below. I'm going to go hang out with Django, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.